i.e. the side that's just scored the try. So Oldham in possession for the first time after 6 minutes. Warrington pack coming in very quickly indeed. A very talented looking Oldham side on view tonight. And the half-back partnership of Francis Maloney, of course, ex-Warrington, and Martin Crompton, who went to Wigan from Warrington and then from Wigan to Oldham. Very talented indeed, both international players. And that was a good run by Jason Timu. The wire pack equal to that. And the Warrington tackling, we saw that Thrum Hall, was certainly equal to the task for most of the game until Halifax lost a player. And Halifax really played out the skins. It's going to be Paul Topping now to take the first phase of this penalty. Good kick by Paul Topping, good 20 yards forward. Oldham back in possession, 6 points to 0 down. And that's on immediately to Craig Richards, and the crowd don't like the fact that Warrington appear to them at least to be lying offside. Oldham spinning this ball along well, but Warrington are trying to clamp. That was David Bradbury. Let loose forward. That's 3 tackles gone, and somebody's lost the scrum cap. Back in possession again, Bradbury going forward, tackle there about 20 yards out. 2 to go, Warrington player down hurt. Oldham deciding to use the narrow side, spinning this ball around, but a lovely tackle coming in there. That's the last tackle, and I think it's Johnny Hough, the Warrington hooker, who's hurt. Kick ahead, kicked out by a Warrington player. That again is going to be 6 again for Oldham. Certainly played by a Warrington player, so Oldham have got 6 again. Inside the wire 20, spinning it around, that's a knock on. Oldham really wasting that possession. I'll try and move away from the Warrington contingent on the gantry as they crowed a little bit then as that ball went to ground. Warrington breathing a sigh of relief. They were a little bit short-handed on the narrow side then. And it's Paul Sculthorpe's scrum cap has come off. And Wally Gibson very sportingly handed him back. And a wide play, it looks like the Warrington hooker. Warrington have certainly got another hooker on the bench, John Thursfield, who may well be coming on, but he's getting up slowly now, very gingerly to his feet. I don't really think he knows where he is. He's taking a bang to the face, I think. I'm sure it was accidental. So surely he in fact gets a warm round of applause from the crowd. That's good to see, that's very sporting. Most our game tends to be the most sporting game of all, unlike the 11-a-side code. And he's going to be carried off as John Hough. And he really looks very groggy indeed as John Thursfield, the A-team hooker, comes on. Well, I think you probably heard that, but you heard it from me before anyway. As John Thursfield, who will certainly stiffen up the wire tackling. Very talented hooker. Ball out on the Warrington side, onto Manoa Thompson. Certainly made his presence felt in recent weeks, Manoa Thompson. Thursfield trying to make his presence felt here. I think he would have been well advised to release that ball. That's Mark Hilton. Mark Hilton really is proving to be rather a handful. Thursfield himself taking the defence on. So Warrington really having the lion's share of the possession in the opening 15 minutes or so. Shelford, that's on a Thursfield. That's the last tackle. Be looking here for Iestyn Harris, I think, to kick forward, and there he is. Got to be a good chase. It's a good kick. Going to go into touch. It gives Warrington a chance to pen Oldham back inside the 20. But a very quiet water sheddings here tonight. Not too many people here. A very dank night. Very, obviously, dark night because the floodlights are on. It's bound to be the case, but it's very damp indeed. Some light rain falling. That'll make the ball very difficult to handle. I think Oldham have found that initially in the opening 15 minutes or so of this game. So Warrington in the lead by 6 points to 0. Warrington tacklers coming in. Clive Griffiths has got a lot on his plate, I think, trying to put the confidence back into this wire. Iestyn Harris, of course, his father, Harris in fact born in Oldham. His father, a Welsh international, comes from Oldham as well. I think lives in Oldham now. Not an easy kick from Harris here. It's about 5 or 6 yards in from touch. And being a right-footed kicker, I think the trajectory will tend to take it across the posts. And the Oldham spectators not very happy with the referee here at Watersheddings. Harris takes this kick just to the right. Good kick, in fact, by Harris. Just to the right, but the ball goes dead. So Warrington should get the ball back. So a really bright opening here by Warrington here at Watersheddings. We have, as always, had a bit of a sweep on the gantry. A number of people have taken Warrington, me being one of them. And I've taken them to win by 10. Lee Penny. The Oldham have not had too much possession. When they have, they're tending to bunch centre field. Mark Hilton. Good game again by Mark Hilton here. Gary Chambers. Warrington, I think, are missing Sumner, who's been out with injury for some time now. I think they're missing the beef of Sumner in the front row. Not. Had a very good game at Halifax. And that's a good 5 or 6 yards made by Ian Knott. And Warrington have still got 2 tackles left in this play. On again to Shelford. Warrington spinning it along. Yestin Harris onto Sculthorpe. The Oldham cover comes in quickly. That's the last tackle. So we're looking for a kick here, probably one up in the air. Yestin Harris raises his arm aloft. That's what Harris does. Crossfield kick. It's going to be difficult to take. Hits a Warrington player. And I think you'll find the referee again was quite right. Number of Warrington players on the narrow side there. Offside. Interfering with the Oldham player coming in to take that ball. And a good decision by Mr. Cummings. As Paul Topping puts the ball into touch. The first phase of this penalty. About 23 minutes gone here at Watersheddings. And Oldham as yet have not really had a look in. Craig Richards. The wire tackling, particularly from the Warrington pack, is good to see at the moment. That ball goes loose. It's going to be Bradbury again, who to me is the pick of the Oldham players at the moment. Not a very tall loose forward. And certainly a high tackle on him there. Bradbury's the only one really who's made any breaks at all. So again, it'll be Paul Topping to take the first phase. Not a particularly good kick by Topping, but it's a safe one. It's in touch. Just remind you of the score. Warrington 7 points, Oldham 0. Second phase now. And certainly Oldham here had a number of men over there, and that was a very, very good tackle by Shelford. That really saved the day, because I think Oldham had 3 or 4 men overlap. Warrington moving in very quickly. Got to get up quickly too to let the player play the ball. That may well have been a forward pass, but McKinney gets the ball away well, and there's a break on here for Oldham. That was Paul Crook, I think. Crook manages to get the ball away. That's going to be a very good try. And as we said, the loose forward for Oldham tonight, David Bradbury's had a marvellous opening 20 minutes. He's the only player in the Oldham ranks who's made any breaks at all. And that's a good try for Oldham. Warrington 7 points, Oldham 4. He scored it. So a very good try for Oldham there. Well converted by Francis Maloney. Converts his own try. And that again, as we've said, really started by David Bradbury, who to me is the pick of the Oldham pack tonight. Penalty to Warrington. Interference at the play of the ball. Yestin Harris takes that quickly. The Oldham club are going to lose a number of footballs tonight. Mark Hilton coming first man in. And Warrington really have played well enough to be more than 1 point ahead, I think. Chambers again. Chambers spins round, back onto Thursfield. Yestin Harris. Onto Paul Cullen. Cullen onto Sculthorpe. And there was Ian, not on his shoulder, but Sculthorpe couldn't get the ball away. That's a knock-on, is it? No. Yes. The referee looked at the touch judge, who said yes, it was a knock-on. Warrington beginning to make some unforced errors here. That was Paul Cullen himself, I think. 7 points to 6 to Warrington at the moment, but I think the negative feature of Warrington's play over the past 3 or 4 weeks has been the number of unforced errors, number of missed tackles as well. And I think Oldham are beginning to spring into life now. They're looking more dangerous. And the Warrington tackling's got to be equal to this. It certainly is then. There's Chambers, Harris and Hilton go in there. Seeing Guild out. He's just pulled down inside the Warrington half of the field. But Oldham are getting stronger as the game goes on. Martin Crompton, a long pass there onto Maloney. To knock on. That's a scrum down. Warrington's head and ball. Well, the first real mistake there, I think, from David Bradbury. That loose forward. His break, of course, led to the Oldham try. Warrington using the narrow side. And that's Manoa Thompson. Ava supported there by Maffey. Maffey goes on his own. There's an Oldham player coming in very quickly. Maffey makes good yardage forward, and I'm sure Warrington would love another try before half-time. Onto Gary Chambers, but Oldham coming in very, very quickly. Back onto Thursfield. Onto Yestin Harris. And the referee telling the Oldham players to go back and stand with him. Again, Mark Hilton. Sidestep there from Mark Hilton. Makes it into the 20. Warrington are going to use Yestin Harris, I think, here, and here he is. Harris this time switching the play. That's on the Shelford, but there's nobody really round there. That's Ian Knott. That's the last tackle. And Warrington, I think, may well spread this now. Using the narrow side. Shelford. Kick ahead by Shelford. Definitely too much on that. And that'll be a tap for Oldham on the 20. And it looked to me there as if Yestin Harris wanted to open that play out on the open side, but didn't do so. The ball eventually in the hands of Shelford. Ball lost. Oldham player hurt. Is that going to be a knock-on, I would think? Scrum down, Whitehead and ball. It looked to me there as if Luila was hurt, but he's okay. You don't like to see any injuries, of course. It doesn't matter who you support. Yestin Harris. Yestin Harris taken out very, very quickly there by Francis Maloney's opposite number. And again, that's Ian Knott, but the tackling is good. The cover is quick. And Warrington not finding it easy now to make much ground. Gary Chambers put down very quickly there. But Warrington here, as we can see, in attacking formation, they're going to spin this ball around, I think. Yestin Harris on the Shelford. Kick ahead by Shelford. Is that going to go into touch? Yes, it is. And that was only on about the fourth tackle, I think. An interesting decision taken there by Shelford. But he certainly puts Oldham back just 10 yards from the line, 20 yards in. But Oldham's head and ball. Ball out on the Oldham side. Wally Gibson. Tackle there just in front of the post. Has, of course, played in the fullback spot for Oldham as Wally Gibson. Very talented player indeed. And the wide tackling at the moment is proving the equal of the Oldham attack. Bradbury put down. Warrington really bunching centre field. May well be that's what's needed as Paul Cullen really goes in with a vengeance. And Oldham finding it difficult to get out the 20. That's the last. So we'll look here for Crompton, a Paul Topping. Crompton on his own. That's going to be a good kick from Crompton. A lovely touch finder from the Oldham scrum half. It's a good 70 yards. Warrington no doubt will get possession. Warrington no doubt will get possession from the scrum, but they're back inside their own 20. We've just done about half an hour gone here at Watersheddings. Warrington still in the lead. 7 points to 6, and they're worth it up to now. Iestyn Harris on his own. As I've said in recent weeks, a number of clubs have done the homework on Iestyn Harris. He's not finding it easy now to make any ground. It's Lee Penny. Lee Penny still going forward. Eventually put to ground. Paul Cullen. John Thursfield at dummy half, again onto Mark Hilton. Mark Hilton goes into Craig Richards, who's the equal of him this time. And Warrington not finding it easy at the moment to make any ground. Iestyn Harris puts that over Aitchison's head. He's going to have to play this ball. The chase has got to be good. There are 3 Warrington players there immediately. And there's Rudd and Eckersley eventually put him to ground. Much more confidence about this Warrington side at the moment. It must have taken rather a hammering, of course, as they did at St Helens on the Thursday and the Sunday again. But I think the Warrington coaching staff have told them they're not that bad, and they're not really. Wally Gibson again, he's in everything at the moment, is Wally Gibson. And Oldham beginning to make ground. Martin Crompton. Long pass on to Maloney. Maloney again onto Bradbury. Last tackle. What will Oldham do? Will they spread this or try and put it in the corner? Will it be one up in the air? It's a kick by Francis Maloney, and it's a good one. It's a very good kick indeed. That's going to have to be played. It's over the line. Eckersley comes out, but a lovely tackle by Maloney on Eckersley. And what a marvellous follow-up from the Oldham standoff, as Lee Penny attempts to clear the lines. But that was good rugby league all round. Gary Chambers. Francis Maloney did very well indeed, as did Crick Eckersley do, to actually pick the ball up. A lovely break here from Sculthorpe. And we're on to Iestyn Harris. Iestyn Harris, is he going to make the line? He's still going, is Iestyn Harris. Surely he will score. And a breakaway try for Warrington. Really made on the line by Chris Eckersley, who was put to ground very quickly indeed by Francis Maloney. But there was Gary Chambers to make the first bust into the Oldham defence. Eventually onto Sculthorpe, who moved inside. And there was Iestyn Harris to collect the ball, to outpace Wally Gibson, and to score a lovely try for Warrington, about 10 yards to the left of the post. Warrington 11 points, Oldham 6, and that was worth the money to come and see. Not an easy kick really for Harris, about 10 yards to the left of the post. He'd love to convert this. And that's what he does. Warrington go into the lead by 13 points to 6. As I'm admonished on the gantry here for getting too excited about that try. My wife Jeanette admonishing me here as I jumped up and down as Iestyn Harris scored. I'm not biased at all, I just like good rugby league, and that was a good try. So with about 7 or 8 minutes to go here at Watersheddings, Warrington in the lead by 13 points to 6, and really well worth the lead up to now. Certainly the better of these two sides, and what a superb tackle by Sculthorpe there on Craig Richards, but the referee not happy with that. Interesting decision from the referee really, but Craig Richards gets up none the worse for that. It's Paul Topping, straight over the gantry. And quite a number of footballs have gone missing tonight, I think. So McKinney onto Craig Richards. It's a wide defence move in. Paul Cullen second man. Paul Sculthorpe in first. Oldham need to score now. Tremendous tackle there by Mark Hilton. Oldham beginning to spread the ball inside. The wire tackling is good. Maloney. Half a break coming in here. It's Bradbury again. And Bradbury's causing the Warrington defence all kinds of problems. He really is, wherever he turns up with the ball. But that's not a good pass. It's on to Maloney. Maloney kicks ahead. It's a good kick too. Eckersley managed to take it. Eckersley, if he can get away, is a flyer. But he's put down there. 2 or 3 yards in from touch. And a number of the crowd said that was a knock-on. I can't imagine how anybody would imagine that to be a knock-on as the ball went backwards. Having said that, I've seen a number of referees recently, when the ball does go loose, automatically give a knock-on, even when it does go backwards. Gary Chambers. Now 13 points to 6, Warrington in the lead. Paul Cullen. Good half break there from Cullen, eventually taken out there by McKinney. On to Shelford. Shelford kicks ahead. That's good pressure from Warrington, really. It's a good 45-yard, 50-yard touch finder from Kelly Shelford. So Shelford puts that ball into touch inside the 20s. We have a laugh and a joke with our cameraman Stuart here on the gantry. 13 points to 6, about 6 or 7 minutes to go here at Watersheddings. To the break. And Warrington down first. Coaches like to see that. And I think Clive Griffiths has done a very good job indeed with this Warrington side to put the confidence back into them. They've certainly attacked with a vengeance tonight. Not been overawed by this Oldham side that's, of course, beaten Wigan and went down very narrowly at Leeds. And it's always very difficult to win here at Watersheddings. And over the years, I've seen some marvellous Oldham sides and some really good tussles between Oldham and Warrington. And when I first watched rugby league, Bernard Ganley was the Oldham, it's a knock-on, I think. Bernard Ganley was the Oldham fullback. And of course the famous Wakefield side of the early and middle 60s, a number of them came from Oldham. Thinking of Don Vines and Derek Turner, of course, a loose forward for Wakefield and for Great Britain. Vines and Turner played at Oldham for a number of years. On to Yestin Harris again. Warrington back in possession. Kick ahead. And surely Warrington are going to score here, are they? No, they're not. Wally Gibson saves the day. And that was some quick thinking by Warrington, but equally quick thinking by the Oldham number 5. As Lee Penny went towards him and outpaced Abram. Good kick there from Maloney, right up into the floodlights. Bounces up quite well for Yestin Harris. What a talented player this Warrington standoff is. And I wonder how many clubs are after him at the moment. Let's hope Warrington can keep him. Paul Cullen. Good half break there from Cullen, but the Oldham tackling not good enough there. Warrington now using the narrow side. That's gone loose. Surely a knock-on again, is it? No. Has gone backwards, in fact. The referee right on the spot. But Warrington really exuding confidence, a kicking on the first and second tackle. They've got so many attacking options open to them. And Oldham not really spreading the ball. Because at times, Warrington are bunching centre field here. And I think if Oldham started to throw this ball about, they may well find some gaps. But they're not doing it at the moment, and Warrington tackling centre field is good. And again, another scrum cap comes off. Gary Lord, just ankle tap there by Kelly Shelford. That's the last tackle. It's going to be a little kick here. In fact, it's a big kick right up into the floodlights. Not an easy one for Lee Penny to take, but he does very well. But a good chase from Oldham. Eckersley. So Chris McKinney's come off for Oldham and Gary Burns on. And this is Chris Rudd for Warrington. So 13 points to 6, about 4 minutes to go to the break. Warrington will want to hold on to this or even score again. And the way Warrington are playing at the moment with Sculthorpe, and he has so many men over here. Sculthorpe's still going. It's going to be to Thompson. Thompson tries to get the ball back, and really Thompson would have been better advised to hold on to that ball, I think. But what a lovely break from Paul Sculthorpe, and how have Warrington missed him over the past 2 or 3 weeks. And this wire side really exuding confidence here at Watersheddings, and are making a lot of yards with the ball in the hand, looking a very talented outfit. And Sculthorpe did well, so did Thompson, but really I think Thompson should have gone down with the ball, but it's easy for me to say. I'm not out there wearing the Warrington colours. He wanted to get the ball back because, of course, Warrington had a 2 or 3 man overlap. Crompton, kick downfield, not a bad one either. Is it going to go into touch? Does very well indeed. Still going! And Warrington really making all kinds of inroads into this defence. And Maffey does very well indeed. And this Oldham side have been run ragged at the moment, but Warrington need to put some points on the board. And Shelford gets it away again, offside. Oldham running out very quickly at the play the ball. It's been given offside, and what are Warrington going to do? They're going to tap it and run. And here's Yastin Harris again. A long pass again onto Thompson. Is Thompson going to take the defence on? Yes, he is. Still going towards the line. Thompson pulled down there, just 2 or 3 yards short, and Warrington wants another try. Just before half-time, Sculthorpe going on his own. Just pulled down 2 or 3 yards short. 13 points to 6, but it could have been a lot more, to be honest with you. And there's a long pass in, and there's a break on, and Oldham are going to score. Louis Laddie's going to score under the post, I think, or is he going to be caught? He's caught, no he isn't, he scores! And a lovely try for Oldham, just to the left of the post, when Warrington had so many attacking options, decided to throw the long pass out, and instead of 17 points to 6, it's now 13 points to 10. I don't think the Warrington coaching staff will be too happy with that, but Oldham will be very happy indeed. And that was a good 90-yard break, just to the left of the post. Oldham 10 points, Warrington 13. So Maloney for the conversion, but as I get my breath back. 13 points to 10, 13 points to 12 it is now, and I think Oldham really will think themselves very lucky to score that try, because Warrington had 2 or 3 good chances just minutes before that happened, and I don't think they'll be too happy going in at 13-12 in the lead. I think Warrington really should be a good 10-15 points ahead by now. But surely the Wire coaching staff will calm them down and tell them just carry on doing what you're doing because you're playing well, and they are playing exceptionally well. And a real breakaway try there for Oldham. And I must admit, Warrington have looked, not attempting to be biased at all, Warrington certainly have looked the better side on the night. But you don't know now, that may well be the turnaround in the game. That might be the watershed for the watershedding's outfit. Hilton comes in very quickly. Put to ground. And Warrington really exuding so much confidence, had so many attacking options, and really just on the stroke of half-time, concede a try that Oldham will be very pleased with. But what a very entertaining opening 40 minutes here at Watershedding. 2 good sides on view. In my opinion, Warrington the better of the 2, and really should be well in the lead by now. As they go down the tunnel, the score at Watershedding's Oldham 12 points, Warrington 13. Sure, Clive Griffiths has told the team that they've got to cut down the errors because they're playing very well indeed, and they've got to keep the tackling as strong as it has been in this first half, because for long periods Oldham have been penned back just outside the 20, and Warrington have attacked very well indeed. Another Warrington player down there hurt. I'm not quite certain who that is. May well be Paul Cullen. But Oldham attacking well here, making good yardage forward. That's the last tackle. I'm not certain who the Warrington player is who's hurt, but Oldham kick ahead. Into the arms there of Manoa Thompson, a good break in fact. In fact, it's Maffey. Found it difficult to distinguish these 2 players. They are the right wing partnership for Warrington tonight. On to Gary Chambers. And Warrington are going to have to warm up a substitute very quickly. Hilton. He goes into Bradbury there, and Craig Richards. And Cullen's hurt. Ian Knott. A slightly built second row forward, but he does make ground well. And Paul Cullen looks to me in a bad way there, still lying on the ground. Iestyn Harris, half a break on the narrow side. That's on to Kelly Shelford, one up in the air. That ball goes loose, that's surely a knock on, and it is. Very difficult to take, in fact, over his right shoulder as he was moving back towards the line. And it is, in fact, Paul Cullen, who's not yet got to his feet and took a knock in that tackle. And it looks to me as if Paul Barrow is warming up for Warrington on the far side. But Warrington could ill afford to lose the hard tackling Paul Cullen, the Warrington skipper. As I always say, gives his heart and soul for the wire. He always has done. Back on his feet. None the worse for wear, is he? Is he going to go off? I think he probably is. It's probably a wise move, although no, he doesn't want to. Knowing Paul Cullen as I do, he'll want to stay on the field. Well, he certainly took a knock in that tackle. So Warrington have got a chance now inside the Oldham 20. And the way Warrington have attacked, onto Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe still going forward. Tackle there just 4 to 5 yards short. Warrington only in the lead by 1 point. Using the forwards. Gary Chambers loses that ball. Oldham get it away. And good handling there from Oldham inside their own 20. And wonders what Andy Goodway said to the Oldham side at half-time. Because I think they're quite fortunate only to be 1 point down, but there again at Watersheddings, Oldham are a very tough outfit indeed, as Wigan found a couple of weeks ago. As Warrington no doubt will find a week on Sunday when they play Oldham in the Challenge Cup. 4th round of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup. It's the last tackle. Maloney. That goes into touch. Eckersley wisely lets that ball roll away from him. Scrum down, Warrington's head and ball. Oh, really is even Steven here at Watersheddings. And we were talking about the game at half-time, saying that had Warrington managed to put another try on the board just before half-time, the floodgates may well have opened, because Warrington certainly have attacked well tonight. Harris, a poor pass really from Harris onto Lee Penny. Does extremely well to take that ball. Harris again, on his own. Centre field. That's onto Knott again. Oldham moving in very quickly there at the play of the ball. Harris on his own, onto Shelford. Little bit of a hospital pass there from Iestyn Harris. Onto Hilton. Paul Cullen. Still going forward, Paul Cullen. Onto Knott, still going. That's the last tackle. What will this be? A crossfield kick, one up in the air. Oh, will Warrington run it? It's onto Shelford. One up in the air. Towards the posts. Taken very well indeed by Aitchison. Does very well indeed to come out from that ruck. Good 10 yards forward from the Oldham fullback. Took the ball well. And moved forward well too. That's Hilton and Cullen. Just on the 20. And Gary Lord. And the referee telling Warrington to stay on side. Crompton. Oldham beginning to spin this ball around. That must be the 4th. Bradbury. Still going Bradbury. He really does attack with a vengeance. Surely that will be a penalty, and it is. A high tackle. The referee waiting to see what would happen. No advantage accrued. Good decision by Mr. Cummings. And a very good kick there by Paul Topping. So Oldham have got a chance now. They're just outside the wire 20. Only 1 point down. But every time Bradbury gets this ball, he looks a danger. Oldham spinning it along. They've got space over here. Aitchison comes in to make the extra man. It's on to Paul Topping. Tackle there just 10 yards out. Warrington really bunching there. Another penalty to Oldham. What will they do? Will they tap it and go? Will this be an attempt at goal? I think Oldham are going to run this. And they are. Warrington screaming out. Lots of men over here, but that ball goes loose, but it's no knock on. But Warrington really bunching centre field, and Oldham managing to get the ball away, but Warrington cover well. Warrington really push Oldham back there a good 20 yards. Craig Richards. Tackle there, centre field, just on the 20. And Gildart put down there, just 15 yards out. The Warrington tackling's going to have to be good enough here. That ball goes loose in the arms of Eckersley. Interfered with a little bit there by Mark Hilton, purely by accident, of course. And that's Ian Knott. Warrington now to try and move forward to relieve their lines. The Warrington player hurt down there. Shelford, Warrington spinning it around, but the Oldham tackling in there immediately. A very good tackle there from Abram. And that's John Thursfield coming out on his own. So that must be 4 tackles gone in this play. On to Shelford. Spinning it along Warrington. Yestin Harris taken out immediately. That's Lee Penny. And Warrington finding it difficult to make any ground at the moment. They're going to have to kick to relieve this pressure. Onto Yestin Harris. Good long kick by Harris. That's a good one. Is it going to go into touch? It certainly does. Just about 9 yards from the Oldham line. Good kick from Harris, but the Oldham players coming in very, very quickly now to tackle the wire. Obviously the coaching staff of Oldham have been a little bit perturbed, I think, during this first half, the number of breaks that Warrington have made. And I think particularly from the wire number 13, Paul Sculthorpe, and how much Warrington have missed him in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Came off, of course, in a televised game against Wigan with a hip injury. Well, it's his first game back tonight. Some good tackling there from the wire. As Jeanette, my wife, gets me a cup of tea before my voice goes completely. That must be 4 tackles gone. Taken by Warrington. Offside. Another penalty to Oldham, so Warrington are losing out on the penalty count in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Oldham back in possession, and it's Oldham's turn now to have the lion's share of the ball. And the wire line's going to have to hold out here. And they're going to have to watch, I think, when Bradbury comes in, because he's the one who appears to be causing most of the problems to the wire defence at the moment. But Warrington's still bunching. Crompton spins it inside. And Gildart tackle there just short of the 20. That's on to Maloney. Maloney this time onto Craig Richards. Just gets inside the Warrington 20. Difficult to put down. Oldham still in possession here. 1 point down. Oh, lovely break, and there surely will be a try for Oldham. It's going to be Paul Topping. Got Oldham back in the lead by 16 points to 13. That really was on the cards, because Oldham have had much more possession than Warrington in the opening 10 minutes of this game. The try scored not by Paul Topping but by Darren Abram, ex-Warrington of course, and Francis Maloney. with a fairly straightforward conversion attempt here to make the score 18 points to 13 if he kicks it. We're just on about 12 minutes gone here in the second half. Francis Maloney to put this ball between the posts. That'll give Oldham a 5-point cushion. And it's a good kick there by Maloney. Oldham 18 points, Warrington 13. Warrington really have put themselves under pressure, I think, in this second half. The penalty count has really gone against them. And that's on to Ian Knott. And the way Warrington attacked in the first half, we'd like to see that again in the second 40. That's Chris Rudd. Eventually put to ground. That's a penalty. I think we probably saw there that Gary Lord went in as third man in. Justin Harris puts this ball almost into the gantry. Chris Eckersley this time. Can he make a break and go? Not this time, as he really is a speed merchant. Gary Chambers onto Hilton, the front row working well. The slip pass there, goes to ground. So Oldham back in possession, and Warrington are beginning to make the old mistakes, losing this ball. Craig Richards again. Richards manages to get that ball away. Does very well indeed onto Crook, the Oldham sub. So Oldham getting stronger now. Lord tackled beautifully there by Justin Harris. Oldham going to spin this ball along now. That's Aitchison. Aitchison gets the ball away. And it's on to Paul Topping this time. Centre field. That's the last tackle. Crompton, one up in the air. Towards the line. Taken well there by Eckersley. And a good chase by Crompton. All the kicks tonight have been good, and the chases have been very, very good as well. That's Lee Penny. He can't make any ground forward at all. So the Wider were 13 points to 6 ahead. And now 18-13 down. And Crompton is beginning to make his presence felt. Centre field is a playmaker for Oldham. Gary Chambers. Into Richards. John Thursfield at dummy half. Back onto Paul Hilton. I always say Paul Hilton. I used to teach Paul Hilton. Mark Hilton, of course. John Thursfield. There's Justin Harris. Kick for position. Aitchison's going to have to play this one as it goes towards the line. Does it well. Plays a bit of soccer first. Another good chase from Warrington. And there's Knott and Cullen in there immediately. So Oldham not making too much ground at the moment, but that's Gary Lord. Put down by 3 Warrington players. Fourth tackle gone. Onto Martin Crompton. Crompton again onto Richards. As Cullen goes towards him and puts him down with Paul Sculthorpe. Kick ahead by Crompton. Taken well by Maffey. But again, another good chase. Well, it's the last league game for Warrington in the Stones Centenary Championship. Offside. A penalty to Warrington. It's certainly what they need. They really need to calm down a little bit and control the ball better, I think. Now Cullen comes off, who was injured, of course, right at the start of the second half, and Paul Barrow's come on. We forecast that this would happen. And that's Maffey there juggling with that ball. And this time it's Paul Barra for his first touch. Doesn't quite get the ball away. Warrington are 5 points down. They could do with a try. There's Mark Hilton again. I think if Warrington lose here tonight, they really will be disappointed because they played very well indeed. Ball away, but lost again. And how many times has this happened to Warrington over the past few weeks? In promising positions, managing to slip the ball, but losing it in the same process. Warrington really looking good for a try then. The Oldham spectators saying that Warrington are offside. I can't quite see that from my position. I think they're moving in very, very quickly at the play of the ball. They're certainly standing with the referee. Clamping the ball well. That's the fourth. Crompton. Crompton on his own again. A beautiful break from Crompton. Another try here. That's going to be Aitchison, who will score under the post. And as we said a few minutes ago, Martin Crompton really making his presence felt. The Warrington defence standing up him, and Aitchison scores a lovely try for Oldham under the post. Well, what do Warrington really have to do here? They've played very well indeed, but they've fallen away again. As Maloney has a fairly straightforward conversion attempt, slots the 2 points. Oldham with about 22 minutes to go. Warrington are 24 points to 13 down. And on the first half performance, they certainly don't deserve that. But rather like it, Halifax have dropped away a little bit in the second half. The Oldham tackling is certainly better. And it looks as if Andy Bennett's coming on. I presume Thursfield will come off. Mark Hilton again, but Warrington finding it very difficult to make any ground forward now. Chambers. Paul Sculthorpe. But Oldham certainly done the homework on Sculthorpe. And also on Yestin Harris, I think. And here's Harris on his own. Kick by Harris. It's going to go into touch. It is. Just about a metre short. Just about a metre short of the line. Scrum down. Oldham's head and ball. So Andy Bennett comes into the front row for Warrington. Johnny Thursfield comes off. Andy Bennett will add a bit of beef here. Loves to run with the ball. Good push from the wide pack, but the ball out on the Oldham side. And Lula in possession. And I think the difference in the second half certainly has been the Oldham scrum half, Martin Crompton. 2 lovely breaks, 2 lovely tries he's made. Craig Richards again, bouncing off Warrington players. Certainly bounced off Chris Rudd there. Crompton again, put it down the whitewash. It's a good kick, in fact. Taken well by Shelford. He's got to relieve the pressure on the Warrington line. But again, the Oldham chase is good. That's Lee Penny coming out. But the real difference, I think, between the two sides in this second half, that Oldham are moving up much more quickly at the play of the ball. Paul Barrow. Andy Bennett for his first touch. It's on to Sculthorpe again, minus cap. And there's always a buzz of expectation around the ground when Sculthorpe gets the ball, because he really does make some very telling breaks indeed. That's on to Chris Rudd. Can't get the ball away, that's the last tackle. Warrington really do need the ball closer to the Oldham line, I think. Yestin Harris kicking for position again. That's too much weight on that one, I think, is there? No, there isn't. Collected over the line. And a good chase again. Aitchison. Good break by Aitchison. Makes a good 15 yards forward. Chris Rudd gets a kick in the face, I think. Crompton again. Crompton really has made this Oldham side buzz in the second half. That's Bradbury again. Still going through. Bradbury had a marvellous game for Oldham tonight. Goes backwards. One up in the air. Not going to be easy to take. Knock on by Eckersley. As he walks back disconsolately to his mark. Not an easy ball to take, with the ball swirling around, and a nightmare, of course, for a full-back and a winger. And Oldham have possession, or certainly will have, from this scrum, just outside the Warrington 20. And they're looking good for another try. 24 points to 13. After a really good opening half by Warrington, they've fallen away somewhat the second half. Are they going to get the ball back? No, they're not. Francis Maloney. Still almost thought Maloney would get the ball away again, because Crompton was with him. This way Warrington have got to watch Crompton. On to Gary Lord, loses possession. Warrington back with the football in the hands. And again it's Lee Penny coming in like a forward, making good ground as well, but hands the ball to an Oldham player. And all kinds of unforced errors here from the wire, putting themselves under all kinds of pressure. That's Gildart coming forward. And Oldham yet again inside the Warrington 20, buzzing. And there's Crompton again. Is he going on his own this time? No, he isn't. Tackle there about 10 yards out. But Oldham looking good for some more points here. That's Bradbury again, just short of the line. That's the last tackle. And we're looking again for Martin Crompton. Is it going to go to him? And it is. Surely a kick by him, and it's a good one. But eventually taken and lost again. Knock on, scrum down again, and how many unforced errors have we seen from the wire in the past 10 minutes or so? Warrington really will find it difficult to win a game if they make so many errors. And the errors they're making at the moment are legion. To Crompton again to put this ball in. And Warrington really must be kicking themselves. They're using the blindsider, Oldham. Aitchison coming in to make the extra man, but he's tackled there. 4 to 5 yards out. That's on to Bradbury again. Bradbury trying to run. The ball is clamped, however, just in front of the posts. Gildart again, but tackled well. Warrington managing for the first time to push Oldham back in the second half. Crompton again spinning this ball along. It's on to Abram. Surely a try for Oldham here. No! Warrington managed to put him to ground. Forgone. Spinning it along. Crompton, a long pass. On to Maloney. Maloney again, but Warrington covered across very quickly indeed. That's the last tackle. A kick, but right into the penny stand, the penny rush. So a tap for Warrington on the line. Warrington tackled well in that 6. And too much weight on that kick. Onto Manoa Thompson. But Warrington now finding they're getting the ball deep inside their own territory. Mark Hilton. And a good tackle there by Richards on Hilton. On this time to Gary Chambers, but Warrington really now playing one-man rugby. We'd like to see them spread this ball. They certainly did in the first half. Is that a knock-on? Referee says no. And in fact, Shelford comes away with it. Shelford still going. Good tackle in the end from Aitchison. Yestin Harris onto Barrow. And a good break from the wire there. Warrington again onto, I was going to say onto Yestin Harris. Penalty. Offside. Warrington really should tap this and go, I think. What will Bennett do? That's what Warrington are going to do, is it? No. But Yestin Harris is going to put this ball into touch. I really don't see the point of that. Warrington really should have tapped that and ran, I think. But at least I suppose it gives them more of the field to work on now. Harris on this time to Ian Knott. Warrington really only about 12 minutes to go, really need a try very quickly. That ball goes to ground. And I think this is something that Clive Griffiths is going to have to work on the training ground. Warrington have got 10-day break now before they come back here again for the 4th round of the Silk Cup Challenge Cup. So Oldham back in possession, 24 points to 13 in the lead. On to Richards. And there's Ian Knott in to help the two Warrington back to attempting to tackle Richards. Leila coming forward. Leula, I'm not quite certain how you pronounce the gentleman's name. Crompton. Taken well this time by Eckersley. The ribald cheers from the crowd. About 11 minutes to go here. That's on to Lee Penny. And Warrington really could do with scoring quickly. Lee Penny is trying his best. No real help for him. Shelford. On to Hilton. Penalty again. Not quite certain why. High tackle, I think. Oh, Yestin Harris. Put this ball into touch. The game not over yet for Warrington, but they've not had a good second half. Has to be said. On to Eckersley. I really don't see the value of that move. Bennett. On to Chambers. Paul Norman now on for Oldham, I can see. Number 14 with a bright, clean jersey. Yestin Harris again, going on his own. Still going away, Yestin Harris. Harris will score for Warrington under the posts. Just what Warrington need. Oldham 24 points, Warrington 17, and surely with the 2 points that Harris no doubt will add, it'll be 24-19 with about 10 minutes to go. Warrington will be 5 points down. So Yestin Harris adds the goal points and kicks off again himself. 24-19. It's all to play for here. And it would be really very disappointing for Warrington if they were to lose by another 5 or 6 points after such a good performance at Halifax, and particularly in the first half here. But they're 24-19 down, they'd love another try. And Oldham would like to clear the lines and are doing it well. Paul Norman. Puts the ground there. Knock on. Penalty. Penalty to Oldham. Interference. So only 5 points between the two sides. And I can't remember the last time that Warrington have had a run of 7 straight defeats. Let's hope for you supporters watching this video they can win tonight. But the 5 points down, Gildart put down very well there, just on the halfway line. And Warrington again bunching. Paul Barrow and Hilton in there on Norman. Gary Lord again, good tackle on Gary Lord. Oldham playing the ball very quickly. Onto Maloney. And I think Oldham are going to spread this. Yes, they are. Bradbury again, but he's been held in a vice-like grip for most of this second half. Oh, still going forward. That's going to end up in a Warrington player's hands. It's a penalty, but offside. Accidental offside, I think, and Oldham are going to try and kick a goal, which is really the thing to do. That would put them 7 points in the lead, and Warrington would have to score twice, of course, in the last 8 or 9 minutes. So Maloney's going to take this kick. It's not an easy one, but it is the right decision to make, I think. And Oldham have 2 more games left, of course, in the league. They play Sheffield on Friday night. No, Wigan on Friday night, I think, and Sheffield on Sunday. So no doubt Wigan and Oldham will grace the Sky cameras in a couple of days' time. So it's a hard week for them. 3 games in 5 days. Maloney to take this kick, and he's missed it. So Warrington going to have to kick out from the 20. And Yestin Harris does it very quickly indeed. Aitchison takes it well. That's 7 minutes to go here, all to play for. Oldham 24 points, Warrington 19. 4 tries to 3. And that's the Wheeler going forward, just tackled on the centre spot, gets the ball away in fact. Now Burns there, tackle midway between the 20 and the halfway line. And Oldham really, with Sean Irwin there moving forward, really wants another try. It's Gary Lord, goes into the 20. Tackle there just in front of the posts. Onto Crompton, what will Crompton do? He spins it inside onto Bradbury, but he's tackled there, just 4 to 5 yards out. Maloney again, going for the line. Tackle just short, that's the last tackle. Surely we're going to see a kick here. Or are Oldham going to run it? It's on eventually there, it is a kick. Taken by a Warrington player. And is it going to be a try? Yes, it is. The referee awards a try. Again, a chapter of accidents for Warrington there. It was a very good kick, in fact, from the Oldham number 7, Martin Crompton. It seemed to hit a couple of Warrington players, just dribbled over the line, and Oldham have scored again. Oldham 28 points, Warrington 19. Leading by 13 points to 12 at half-time. Maloney adds the 2 points, 30 points to 19 in Oldham's favour. So Oldham have scored 18 points in this second half to Warrington 6. We must have had a good talking to at half-time. Maloney for the restart. Shelford this time. That's on to Knott. So there's still 5 minutes to go here. Warrington down by 30 points to 19. Perhaps not a fair reflection of the full 80 minutes, I don't think, but having said that, Oldham have played very well in the second half and have really taken the game to Warrington. Mark Hilton. And Warrington have made too many unforced errors, given away too many penalties in the second 40 minutes. Paul Sculthorpe. And another, how many times did this happen? Sculthorpe probably doing the right thing, but the ball goes to ground again. That's happened 4 to 5 times in this second half, and that's been the story of Warrington play over the past 2 or 3 weeks. That's a scrum down with Oldham's head and ball. So I don't think Warrington will want to remember this Stones Bitter Centenary Championship. They end up with 6 league defeats on the run, and a cup game as well, of course, and we don't want to remind you of what that score was at Knowsley Road. Warrington is certainly a better side than the score would suggest, but have made too many unforced errors. And I think that's something which has got to be again. I'm not certain that was a knock-on, but the referee said it was. Warrington won't complain. They'll get the ball back, and they've only got about 3 minutes left here now to score 12 points. 2 quick tries. I have seen it done before, very, very rarely. Yestin Harris back in the arms of Shelford. Shelford taken out very quickly indeed. Paul Sculthorpe. Of 30 points to 19. Not a fair reflection, I don't think, of the game overall. But having said that, Warrington have fallen away somewhat in the second half. Kelly Shelford. On to Yestin Harris. Harris this time. Lee Penny. Lee Penny releases Harris again. It's on to Eckersley. Eckersley finding it difficult to keep his feet. Penalty. I think that was a good decision, in fact, because I'm sure Paul Topping came in there where he didn't need to. Paul Topping not happy with that, but the referee has made his decision, and I think it was a good one. A knee in the tackle. Yestin Harris spins it away onto Shelford. Shelford onto Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe decides to go on his own. Warrington would love a try. They're playing for pride, I think, now. They're not going to win this game, I don't think, but having said that, they've given a lot to it, and that's a half a break there by Mark Hilton, and Warrington are only about 10 yards out. Yestin Harris again, long pass. Where's this going to? It's on to Eckersley. Eckersley on his own. Put down eventually just 10 yards away from the Oldham try line. And that's Ian Knott going on his own. 2 tackles left. Warrington are going to use the narrow side. Is it going to be Yestin Harris to score? He goes over on his back, I think. It's the last tackle. It wasn't Yestin Harris at all. It was taken well. Is it a knock-on? The referee's given a knock-on, in fact. Yestin Harris got a second bite at the cherry there, really. Missed it second time round, but the referee given a knock-on and Warrington's head and ball. With about a minute on the clock. A bit of an injury, of course, to Paul Cullen at the start of the second half. There may well be some minutes to add on. Long pass on to Harris. But Harris taken out very quickly. And in fact, just on the stroke of full time, a very good game here at the Watershedings. I should stop saying the Watershedings, I apologise. A good game here at the Watershedings. Probably the first half belonged to Warrington. The second half certainly belonged to Oldham as they scored 3 tries to Warrington's 1. Warrington fell apart a little bit in the second half, and certainly Martin Crompton prompted the Oldham pack and the Oldham backs as well, and he made certainly 2 very good tries in the second half. Having said that, Warrington shouldn't be too disappointed. Over the past 7 days, I think they've got the confidence back. They attacked with a vengeance tonight, certainly in the first 40 minutes. Having said that, Oldham go down the tunnel with a very good victory at Watershedings. It's Warrington's last league game of the season. They come back here in 10 days' time. The final score here from Watershedings, Oldham 30 points, Warrington 19.